So the majority of my fabrication on the back is finished, but yeah, while I'm at it, I thought I would like to actually cover this and French in some round taillights. So let's get into that coming up. Hey, how's it, Oaks, and welcome back. And a special welcome to my new subscribers. Very happy to have you guys on board. I hope we have a long journey together. So my name's Dirk de Villiers. I run a small one-man shop out here in the middle of the forest where I realize rusty jeans. So my first thought was to just cut a plate that fits in this hole and weld it in so that it's all flush. But there's quite a pronounced radius here, which is going to make it very difficult. If I can enlarge it a little bit, it's like this. So if you want to have a plate welded in there that's flush with this surface here, yeah, it becomes quite tricky because of that radius corner, because you haven't got a sharp edge that you can line up with. So I looked at it for a while and then decided, you know what, it's going to be much easier is to cover this whole surface with a piece of plate instead of just welding it in there. So first thing I did was to make a paper template. Just to give you an idea, there's the paper template. Just going to stick it on with some magnets. I guess you can say I'm a cheapskate again. I don't have these fancy magnets that I see out there that you can buy on eBay or wherever. My magnets are just pieces of broken old speaker. I just had an old speaker, big magnet on the back, gave it a whack with a hammer, and I'm using the broken pieces. So the plan is to cut this now out of 1mm plate, and then I'm going to fully weld it all around, grind it nicely, and because it's joining on these corners, and even here there's a corner, and there you would not even see that it was changed. Then of course I want to cut in 3 holes for the taillights themselves. Clamp the flat plate in place. It needs a bend here and a bend there. Instead of trying to do it on the bench, I'm going to do it in situ, and I'm also not going to use the hammer directly. I'm just going to use a wooden block. That way I don't get nasty marks on my plate. So this LED marker lamp that I found at my local auto shop quite cheaply, they fit quite nicely into a piece of 3-inch pipe. Look at that. So I've cut 6 slices, 3 for each side, and then when I was at my local steel shop, I found these 3-inch steel discs as well, so that saves me a bit of trouble. So I can make the backs from them. So I'm just going to drill a center hole here for the wire, and then tap 2 smaller holes for the screws that hold the lamp on. Yeah. So my lamp is screwed to the back plate. That works quite well. Now what I will do is weld the back plate to my slice of pipe. So we will have that recessed look. It's probably a good idea to take my light or lamp off before I weld. Up and grind it with a nice little radius here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of warpage on this very thin 1mm plate. It's to be expected with all that welding. I'm sure I can sort this out when I weld it onto the truck. I suppose the best way to do this would have been to put this plate onto the truck first and then weld this in afterwards. But I thought, you know what, it's just more comfortable doing all this work at the table. So this is the route I went. So let's go and put it on the truck and see what it looks like. Okay, so I had to cut a little bit inside here to get my pieces to go in there. So yeah, I think some Ford traditionalists might not like what's going on here, but let's give it a try. Something like that. Gotta get the clamp on here. There you go. I'm just going to fiddle with it a little bit, get it clamped up in place, and then we can tack it on. Could that be lead? Is that possible? Whatever it is, it's not welding. Right, so yeah, we've got a bit of warpage going on. Okay. Here you go, it's basically tacked on. Now I need to just weld it fully and figure out what's going on up here. Okay, fully welded up, except in this corner, which is a bit of a mess. Mr. Ford has actually used lead here, can you believe it? So of course the welding and lead is not friends. Let's have a closer look and I'll show you. So this here is actually lead. Look at this. It's soft, you can see. Look at that. So yeah, the welding, weld seal welding onto lead doesn't really work. It just melts it up. So it's a bit messy. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do up here. I think let me just first grind the whole thing and then we can evaluate. There you go. Turned out well enough, I think. This business with the lead on the corner. Let me show you a close up. That's what it looks like. It's a little bit messy. But yes, I've never worked with lead before, and I was thinking about this and thinking if I can try and play with the lead and heat up, and then I'll probably melt all lead out and it'll just become a disaster. So I'm not even going to try and do something about it. There are no holes per se. It just actually needs more lead to fill the craters. But I'm going to leave it exactly like that. What the hell, it's just going to be a rat truck. I'm not even going to bother to fill and ferret. Because you know my motto by now. Life's too short to be sanding Bondo. But the overall picture is pretty sweet, I think. So I'm just going to do the one on the other side as well now. Got the brother done as well. Same story here on this corner with the lead. And on this side I even had some lead down here as well. A little bit there. Can you believe it? But all in all I think it's pretty good. No weld seams are really visible. It's all blended in nicely. Yeah, so let me put some lamps in and let's see what that looks like. There you go. I only had lamps for the one side, but that's what it looks like. My crackpot's got some Frenched in taillights now. Yeah, I'm not sure whether the indicator should be in the top or the bottom. I can still swap it around. I don't know, what's your opinion? Let me know in the comments. Indicator in the top or indicator in the bottom? Yeah, man. You are hardcore. You stayed with me right until the end. Appreciate watching my carrying ons. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.